Alrighty, we're live. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since we have done a video. I think well over last week. But yeah, we're going to jump right into it. So we have obviously heard that there are rumors that Mark Breland's been now separate from the team of Wilder, no longer coaching him. Nothing to me is concrete about this. I think though that if it's true, it's not as bad, or really it's not a bad thing, because what you have is these rumors that Malik Scott is the new coach, or in a bigger role, in a very crucial role in this camp for Wilder. And so I'm going to explain why Malik Scott is a really good trainer for Deontay, especially Deontay himself. So Malik Scott, in his career, did pretty well. He was never a world champion, but he did compete at that world level. He competed against Wilder. He competed against Chisora. Tony Thompson, even though Tony Thompson was, on the wrong side of 40, he fought against Luis Ortiz. He came to Australia. He beat Alex Leopai. So Malik's a very experienced operator in that ring. He also fought Glasgow, in which I believe he was robbed. That fight was a draw, but I think that was a huge robbery. I think what people got to understand about Malik Scott is Malik Scott is really experienced and probably has just as much experience, if not a little more, than Wilder. Mark was a good coach, but I think Malik adds a bit more. Malik, if you look at his Instagram, it is quite exquisite, but he also posts a lot of videos about old fighters. Lots of things about feints and disengagements. Lots of things about hand control. Lots of things about arm control, body control in the ring, distance, setting up certain punches, using the length, using certain range. This is a guy who's sparred with Lennox Lewis. This is a guy who was in the Junior Olympics. He was, at the time, one of the best boxers in America. And he missed out on the Olympics. Did he miss out on the Olympics? I think he either went and he lost in a trial. I think he lost an Olympic trial. And this is a guy that's very technical. He's had the ups and the downs. And his losses have really only come to hard-hitting, high-level operators. Deontay Wilder, Derek Chisora, which was, a little bit suspect because he beat the count. And then he lost to Luis Ortiz. He didn't do well in that fight, but it just shows the experience. There's also this notion that Malik is a yes man, and I don't really know where this has come from. A lot of people like to drop this word. I don't see any yes men on that team. Wilder's circle is very small. I mean, he's got his assistant who never really talks. He's got Jay, who talks because he's his coach. He's got Demarius Hill, who's an assistant coach, and he helps out a lot behind the scenes. He's got Joey Scott, who's a strength and conditioning coach. And now he's got Malik, who apparently is going to be at that level of Jay Diaz, or maybe even the head coach, or one of the head coaches. So that's a pretty small circle. And there's only about 3 in his corner, because Joey Scott and Chris Bates, they are sitting ringside. But in the corner is probably Jay, Demarius, and Malik. And that's it. Malik and Jay will probably talk to Wilder in the corner, one at a time, giving sound advice, because they are both very good at what they do. They know boxing. And Demarius will be, a cut man, and he'll be helping with ice packs, and he'll be helping with the water, and he'll be there for support as well. But I want to also bring this up here. Let me just bring this up. Now, we've seen Malik Scott. With a lot of fighters such as Junior Farr. And you can see Malik's also just a good pad man. He's a guy that's good at instructing. With Junior Far's in the top 10 of the WBO. Okay, for him to help him during this camp with Wilder, letting combinations go. Like I said before, a lot of lead hand control, a lot of stuff with the jab. Just overall a good pad man. If we skip forward, you'll see during the pads he gives a lot of advice. Mark was very quiet, whereas Malik's very informative. He changes it up a lot. He gives a lot of different combinations. You can see here he's telling no wind up. So he's a good coach. Really, from the technical standpoint, he's also a very good motivator. And I think it's a great choice. You want someone that's as experienced as Malik, someone that knows how heavyweights work, someone who has actually fought Deontay as well, despite it lasting very quickly. Okay, he looks strong in the pads. He doesn't look like someone that's going to, get a broken shoulder. You can see here, he helped Wilder out. He's helped him in sparring, but if he's his coach, he won't be sparring. But this is just a good way of seeing that Malik's got a lot of knowledge of Wilder. He knows how Wilder works. He knows the movement of Fury. He's showing him all different kinds of looks, and he's a good improviser. He's a good game planner. This is why I believe he is also a good choice, because he is able to blend it all in to one. He knows heavyweights very well. He's sparred with the Klitschko's. He's sparred with Lennox Lewis. He's been to several camps. And he has a style where it is hit and don't get hit. And he has the truest form of a boxing style you can find in somebody. Someone that hits and doesn't get hit. Great jab, great combinations. Not the biggest puncher, but a very good mover, a very slick operator, a very experienced operator. And he has held the pads and helped out. Coach, trained Junior Fire. He's trained civilians. He already has experience. His competition experience is also enough. And he, most importantly, knows Deontay. He knows what Deontay must do to win this fight. Now, I couldn't tell you what he's telling him because I'm not in there. And I don't know if Malik is actually the head coach. This might be speculation. But if it is true that Malik is like in a really major role, I think it's a good choice. I've showed you and listed all the reasons as to why he is a great coach to have in this corner for this fight. And Malik has sparred with Tyson Fury as well, so he knows Tyson Fury. And all the knowledge that they have from both fights is even better. And you got to understand, Wilder's known Malik for a long time as well. He's known Malik probably just as long as probably Mark Breland. Maybe a little bit less than Jay Diaz. So it's a good choice. I think it's a very good choice. I think that Wilder's already reached out to George Foreman, and I think this is a good thing that he did, a good decision he made. I think Floyd could help, but not as much as Malik, because Malik understands Wilder, and he understands that this division, what you need to do to negate certain tactics and certain styles. I feel like Floyd is good with the pads and everything, but in terms of a game plan and trying to box with Fury is not going to work. I think it's more about bullying the bully here. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, I've reiterated this. It's a good choice. It's a good choice. And you got someone in there that is just a little bit more strict than Mark, because Jay is strict enough on Wilder, but I think Malik is a really good motivator as well. It's not just the technical side of it. He's a good motivator. And you got to also understand, you got Demarius Hill, who's a mitt man, so they might not change as much. They might not go Jay hold the pads, Malik hold the pads. Or it might be Jay holding the pads and then Malik giving instructions ringside. And then when Demarius holds the pads, it will be Malik giving instructions ringside. In sparring, I feel like Malik is more vocal. Because Jay's, I think he's 50 years old. And he's obviously still got a voice. But Malik, for me, I think he should be doing the more talking. I feel like him and Jay could really devise a good game plan and a good strategy for the fight. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, certain punches at certain times, roughhousing, all that. So it's a good choice. And then you got Joey Scott, who's an excellent strength and conditioning coach. So I think it's good. And that is what Wilder meant. Wilder meant there's a person that comes to camp, not all the time, but he's around. And he must have meant Malik Scott. And Tay Jones also said this many months ago as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Again, I think it's a good choice. If you guys think it's a good choice or a bad choice, or you sit somewhere in the middle, or you got other thoughts about this, please do tell me, okay, in the comments. With that, I'm out. Peace.